Hey everybody, JCB here, the Awesomest, and you're watching the Awesomest YouTube channel. So I'm still kind of sick, which means my voice is still kind of messed up, which means I won't be doing a lot of talking in this video. Today is Friday, October 6th, and we are at Fright Fest. Fright Fest is, of course, Six Flags' giant Halloween celebration in which they retheme the entire park to have sort of a horror aesthetic. It's actually usually a lot of fun. I've done another video about Fright Fest in the past. The thumbnail looks like this. I'll leave a link in the description below. Check that out. You won't be disappointed. First off is to get our maze passes. So at Six Flags Magic Mountain, the Fright Fest mazes are a separate attraction that require a second entry fee to be paid, this time in the form of a wristband. There are two wristband choices, one that is regular and one that is express. The regular wristband tends to suffice as most of the lines aren't too long on most nights, and if you wait till the very end of the night, you can get into just about any maze during like the last 5 minutes of the night with hardly any wait at all. However, if you're in a hurry and you want to get in many mazes as possible and maybe ride some rides as well, get the express pass. It's just a little bit extra and you can walk right to the front of the line and wait hardly at all. This is fantastic for those days when it's absolutely packed and you really don't have much chance of getting into any mazes in a timely manner. In the past, we've been on nights when it was so crazy busy that if we had the regular maze wristband, we would have probably gotten into one, maybe two mazes. So ever since then, we've paid the extra, got the express pass, even though on this occasion, we really didn't need it. In fact, this time the park was pretty dead, no pun intended. There weren't very many people standing around waiting to get into the mazes, or even on the rides. I think we waited 30 minutes to get on Goliath, which is unheard of during Fright Fest, and we got through all the mazes fairly quickly. There wasn't much need for an express wristband in the first place, but I'm still glad we had it, because if it had been busy, we would have been screwed. Of course, I say we spent most of our time looking for decorations and not at decorations, because the park was pretty sparsely decorated. Compared to the previous 2 years that I've gone and documented my visits to Fright Fest, the park didn't really put out very many decorations like they used to. Typically, the entire park is completely full to the brim with smog, to the point where you can't see 2 feet in front of your face. This, though, this right here, was the most smog we ran into all night, and I can still see clear across the walkway. I mean, this is hardly nothing. The lack of fog or smog or whatever you want to call it is not the only problem. There also used to be an entire zombie area right next to the Bugs Bunny land with a big TV talking about how the zombie outbreak happened, like a car, all kinds of stuff talking about a quarantine and everything. All that was just gone this year, nowhere to be found. They didn't even bother putting it up. Just like previous years, over by Full Throttle, you'll have the Full Throttle stage show with the voodoo dolls performing live covers of more popular songs you probably know and love from the radio. And if you're into that sort of thing, it's there. It's fun, I guess. As you can see, there's not a whole bunch of people watching, but they were there and they were performing their hearts out, so more power to them. For those of you who have never been to Fright Fest, here's where things get kind of interesting for regular park goers. When you get to the Full Throttle Sports Bar, you turn right, and this gate that is normally closed during the rest of the year is open. This is where 3 of the Fright Fest mazes live, and they're there all year long. They just aren't used except for during Fright Fest. There's actually a whole bunch of space in this area of the park that is just not used at all throughout most of the year. So anytime somebody tells you Six Flags doesn't have any room for rides, there's this whole unused portion of the park that is available for rides. They just keep it closed off during the rest of the year. Speaking of the mazes in this part of the park, you will find Vault 666, Red's Revenge, and the 3D Toy Box Maze, which I believe is called Toys of Terror in 3D. It's pretty cool. They give you some 3D glasses that you put on. I talked about this in my last Fright Fest video. It's really trippy, a lot of fun. Still one of the better mazes at the park. I definitely recommend it. So obviously I can't show you inside the mazes because we'll want to ruin the experience for you, kind of spoil the whole thing. The other thing is the park just really has policy against it. But really I think the biggest one is... You missed. Biggest one is just that it would spoil everything for you.
To do a quick review, Red's Revenge is basically a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood in which Red Riding Hood gets revenge on the wolf. Vault 666 is like some company doing weird genetic testing, and then the animal/people hybrids take over and there's a virus or something weird like that. The Clowns 3D toy box thing is just trippy clown images, 3D pictures, things of that nature. What you're looking at right here is where the zombie outbreak area used to be. It's now completely clear. They now have nothing here instead of zombies. Kind of disappointing. They don't even have fog. I remember last year there was so much fog here you couldn't see if you were about to crash into a trash can. And now it's pretty much clear as day, just dark outside. We decided to get on Goliath because the line looked really short, and a few years ago we had a fantastic time riding in the front seat with the entire park full of smog or fog or whatever you want to call it. It was pretty amazing to go down that giant drop right into a huge blanket of fog and disappear into it. It was just really cool and fun, so we wanted to experience that again. Unfortunately, the park wasn't using nearly enough fog to create that same effect this time, and so it was just riding Goliath at night like you could do pretty much any time in the winter after 6 o'clock. Perhaps one of the most disappointing things is that they're still doing the Suicide Squad thing. Kind of odd. This made sense last year because the movie came out last year. Now it's just old and it's not Halloween or scary. It doesn't make any sense. Very strange. Let's just avoid DC Universe altogether.
So I'm a little disappointed with Fright Fest this year. It seems dead and lacking.
Well, yeah, the Ghostface Killer. Ghostface Killer, unbelievable.
The Justice League Battle for Metropolis ride area was pretty cool. They had a big like dance floor area set up in front of it, and they had people coming out in costumes and doing all kinds of crazy things. It was pretty neat. Wasn't anything spectacular, not really worth stopping to watch in my opinion, but it was still pretty cool. Then of course Justice League is just a great ride, so if you happen to be over there, go on the ride. Lots of fun. You'll enjoy that at the very least. Getting up towards the top of the mountain, they have a lot more decorations, and they put a lot more effort into this part of the park, which was nice, but it was still pretty bare bones, and again, we don't have very much fog. There was just mostly a lot of noise and a lot of like decorations hanging up on the walls and fences and trees. There wasn't much else happening, which was a little disappointing. I gotta say, Fright Fest was not as fun as it was last year, at least not for me. Maybe it'll be better when you go. I hope it is. I really like to see Six Flags succeed at the things they do, and this was just kind of disappointing. As far as mazes go at the top of the mountain, you have, of course, Willoughby's Resurrection, which is the same thing as Willoughby's Haunted Mansion, wherever it was last time. It's just the Magic Pagoda rethemed. You also have Dead End, which is a pretty cool maze. They give the leader this flashlight. Everybody else has like a glowing bracelet, and they follow the leader through the maze. And the flashlight is synchronized with the maze, so as you turn corners and go into different rooms, the flashlight will like cut out and go dark, and so you turn in one direction, it turns on, you turn back this other direction, it turns back off. It's really interactive, really cool. I really wish they had incorporated that kind of stuff into more of the mazes, because that one was really fun.
So we just went to the Dead End maze, and that one's pretty cool. They give like the leader of your group this flashlight that is synchronized to your location in the maze, and so at different times it turns on and off. So sometimes you can see exactly where you're going and who's around you, and sometimes it's just completely pitch black and you can't see anything at all.
So the other mazes that are at the park include Chupacabra, which is kind of a Mexico-themed haunted maze. Then there is, of course, Aftermath 2 Chaos Rising, which used to be my favorite maze until I just tried this Dead End one they had this year. In Aftermath 2, they usually use so much fog that you can get separated from your group, and there's like multiple paths you can go, and there's fire effects, and there's helicopters, and there's kind of like these explosion things going on. Huge thing about like a zombie virus breakout that was always really cool to actually experience, but this year, because they were skimping on the fog and the effects, it was just kind of boring, and you just sort of walked through it without any real worry or fear or even hesitation of turning the corner.
Kelsey, look, it's scary, Kelsey. It's red. Look put red in places.
I am frightened.
In many parts of the park, they didn't even bother putting up decorations or just changed the light bulbs to red light bulbs. It was kind of annoying to see. Here we go. We got some beat up cars, some camouflage stuff. This is definitely the zombie apocalypse, people. Definitely the zombie apocalypse. Nothing scarier than old rusty cars and camouflage tents. Man, oh man. So spoopy. My lack of enthusiasm might be due to the fact that I've been to Fright Fest so many times. I mean, you can only see the same scary clown statue so many years in a row before it just kind of becomes familiar to you. And really, that's kind of the thing Six Flags tends to do with their Fright Fest. They just sort of move things around. Sometimes they'll add a new maze or a new element to an existing maze. Often they'll take things away that you liked from last year, or bring things back from years ago that you liked that they once took away. And then it's just kind of a remix every year. They put things in different spots, try out a couple different things, see what works, see what doesn't, and it's just more of the same every time. So
okay, so I'm Cringy the Clown here, live on the scene. Yeah, there's this fog, and there's a guy walking around. It's crazy. I don't know. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, thank you. Cringy the Clown, everybody. So right here, everybody was telling me my eyes looked really weird in this light, so I was posing so they could try to get like a picture of it or whatever, but I just look like a weirdo. Just a fat, hairy weirdo. Look, it's Cringy the Clown. So out of sheer boredom, we ended up in the DC universe anyway, looking at some of the Suicide Squad Halloween decorations. Let that sink in. I know it was a big hit at the theaters this year, but that doesn't mean every clown is scary. The Joker is not a horror character. The Screampunk District has the typical projections on the wall and all the old steampunky spiders and everything, which is all still really cool. I've just seen it before, so if you've never been to Fright Fest, you'll find this stuff pretty cool. It looks amazing. They did a great job on this. The people who make this stuff are very talented. I don't want to undersell it. It's just that there's nothing new to look at, so I was just kind of bored in this area. We ended up going on Twisted Colossus, which, piece of good news, they fixed whatever was causing that horrible screeching sound on Twisted Colossus. That's gone. But that was like the most enjoyable part of my visit to this section of the park. So the bottom line is, this year's Six Flags Fright Fest was just kind of meh. I mean, it's not bad. They still do a lot of really cool stuff, but it's stuff that's been done before, and I've seen it before, and I've done videos about it before, so this just seemed like kind of a waste of time. If you're looking for something fun and safe to do for Halloween, by all means, check out Six Flags Fright Fest. It is fun. It is safe. There is a lot of great art on display that people have created specifically for this event, and it is cool to take it all in, especially if you've never done it before. But if you went last year or the year before, you're not going to enjoy it as much as you did those times. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. That's it for me today. I do release new videos every week, so if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, keep being awesome. Hey guys, just a quick reminder to check out the video I did last year about Fright Fest if you're interested in more information about that. It has a lot more details. I feel like I was retreading a lot of that video in this one, which is why I kind of did something different. Hope you liked it. Anyway, as far as my health goes, I'm feeling much better. Voice almost back to normal. Lots of videos coming up. Keep watching this space, and of course, keep being awesome.